Hi everyone, this is Deanna again, and it's Thursday, and I promised that we would do a 12 by 12 shadow box layout. This is not together yet. This is typically how I work. I gather my things and I start laying them out how I think I want it, and sometimes during the middle of the process I change my mind if something doesn't look right, but I try to kind of lay it out and get an idea so I'm ready when it's time to glue down, so we can actually get started. I'm using the Graphic 45 Triumphant Red number 15 roses. They are nice. They are nice and almost velvety feeling. Very nice flowers. Let me see what the back says a number. Sure. It is 4501785. And again, that's the Graphic 45 ones. I also used just a corner punch rounder. I used some black velvet ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'll be using my art glitter glue as normal. And I'll also be using some pop dots. I also used Graphic 45 and July Montage, number 4501235. These are Children's Hours collection. These are older papers, but I want to use up my stock because I don't see any sense of spending more money if I'm not using up what I already have. So we have the July. I also used the February collection, 4501224, and that's the Children's Hour collection. And the May Montage, 4501231, Children's Hour collection. And I used regular black 12 by 12 cardstock. I went ahead and I cut all of the pieces apart. I cut them all off of the paper so I could use them. I used the back side. This is the July. I used the back side to pull out the red. The nice thing about Graphic 45 is they typically use the same die combinations for their papers, so they kind of mix well, especially like the backs. I mean, you could use that with anything. And then I used the back. This is the May, and I used the back of that, which is kind of that rosy pink color that was in here too. So they all pull together nicely, and that's one of the things I like about Graphic 45 is that you can interchange. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna start gluing things together. Now everything is cut. This first piece here, the black, I left 12 by 12. Then this piece, the May Montage, I cut that 11.5 by 11.5. I didn't use much of the July. I didn't use much of this, just that one strip. And that measures, I'll grab my ruler here a second. That measures the 11.5 long, to match that, by 2 3/4. And the black piece under there measures 11.5 by 2 inches. I got that right. All right, the black piece measures 2 inches by 11.5, and the montage ones, I'm sorry, 1 3/4. So we've got 2-inch black strip, 1 3/4 inch of the red strip, and those are both 11.5 inches long. All the rest, when I measured them, I would measure them both directions, and then I would cut my next piece 1/4 of an inch bigger each direction, and then I do the same for the next layer. So that's how I did those. So let's go ahead and glue these together. We'll start gluing them one at a time, and then we'll start placing them. Oops, I should probably glue this part. Here we go. Make sure I get the right piece here. There we go. And we're going to put a glitter heart brad through there, through that hole when we're all done. Be a nice little addition to it. There we go. Another blustery day today in Michigan. And then it's supposed to start huge temperature fluctuations from below zero up into the 40s, I guess. So typical weather. So I have this glitter heart bread, and I'm just gonna set that through there and you know, there we go. Press it down. I want to get this glued down. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of quiet today. I don't know why. I'm kind of involved in my thinking, I guess. I'm not sure. And that's going to meet right up with that top. There's not going to be a difference on the top and the bottom here. It's just going to be on the two sides. There we go. Let's glue these together. I do want to do some black soot, I think. Get my, grab my black soot ink here. I figured I'd have this ready, and I forgot all about it. So there it is. All right. Okay. We're just going to do these edges here. I was going to had everything laid out and ready to go, and then I decided to run to the store. So apparently that threw me off. I probably should have just done the video first. So I stayed in my thought process. And we're just going to put that on, even out the edges there a little bit. There we go. It's hard for me to cut up my graphic 45 papers because I just love them so much. I think they have some of the prettiest lines out there. So, all right, we're going to lay that down on there. And we just need this center section here. And hold that like that. So right in that area. We're just going to kind of eyeball it and lay it out. There we go. All right. I'm going to lay this whole thing on there. Now you can glue down your 11.5 by 11.5 section onto your 12 by 12 right away if you want. I'm just trying to keep my border here so I know right where I want. I'm going to lay this ruler right there. I want it to kind of be an inch in from my 12 by 12 edge, and it just allows me to make nice straight lines, and then it's going to match right up, whoops, right up with the bottom there. Should match up and in the top. There we go. That's one of the reasons I love that ruler, is I can see right through it and know exactly where I want to go. All right. Now this piece here, I'm not going to do red on this one. I'm just going to leave it just the black. I'm going to give it some, I'm going to have ink all over myself here. That's all right. Inking the edges helps take away any of that white edge on there. That might have got missed. There we go. Whoops. Sorry about that. And I wanted to do one for February because of Valentine's Day, but I didn't want it too Valentine-y looking. So that's why I kind of went with this. And even though it does say Be My Valentine, it's all subtle. It's not like in your face Valentine. So that's why I wanted to go with this. And I have another Shadowbox that I'm going to be working with. I have, like I've told you before, 3 that hang in my house, 3 big ones, 3 12 by 12 ones. And I have purchased some of the ones that have the little boxes. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, there it is. This type here. So I'm going to be doing a project with that coming up here real soon. So I think that'll be a fun one. All right, now I got to wait on that until I get this other thing. I'm going to slide this all off and glue that main piece down there. And just try to keep in my head where everything is supposed to be. All right, here we go. There we go. You can use score tape if you like. I just happen to like the glue, and I try not to overdo it with the glue, especially with some of my papers, because if they are thinner, you know, more like a paper and not a cardstock, sometimes they'll bubble up, so, and we don't want that. So let's get this on here. I'm going to lay this down here. 1/4 of an inch. Oops, can't see it. It's out of frame. Sorry about that. 1/4 of an inch. And then I can also use the other 1/4 of an inches coming in from each side of the ruler to mark that edge too. There we go. And hopefully that was in frame enough for you to see what I was doing there. Oh, dang. There we go. I'm going to smooth that out a little bit there. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now I can lay this piece down. I think about right in there. February. Let me get that out there. Valentine. Try to get these back kind of in the area where they got to go. All right. We're going to move that one down there. And when I, the one shadow box I have, I use these little tiny Velcro dots. You find them in like the sewing section usually, but they're just tiny, maybe about the size of a end of a pencil eraser. And I use those because it doesn't have a lip on it to hold anything in, so I use the Velcro to kind of tack them in. All right, we can glue this one together here. Let's get our, see? And I did the same for all of these. Everything was measured the main piece, and then everything got 1/4 of an inch bigger on each side. It just makes it, if you have a standard system, it makes it a little easier. Now I would tell you the exact measurements, but when you cut yours out, you might have a different pattern. You might have different ones you choose to put in if you do have this paper. I might put a couple kits together to make these, and you could do it exactly if you're interested. If you're interested, let me know, and I'll figure out how much a kit would cost and then the shipping. But I know I have enough to do at least 3 exactly the way this one is done. So if it's something you're interested in, just message me and then we'll figure that out. Okay. Now this is the black velvet ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I always buy it when it's 50% off. This little heart buckle I've had for years. I've had them for years. And I'm down to my last 4. And I couldn't even tell you where I got it. It's been so long. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue right on the center, not on the metal, because it'll seize up on the metal too fast. And I'm just going to put that right in the center there. Press it down. And I'm going to bring this around. Put some more hot glue right there. And press that on the back. Go. I just love the look of velvet. And I know on Wish they have, I bought some red, and I was going to use the red, but it wasn't the right color red for this project. So that's why I went with the black. And the black is fine. It looks nice. There. It just adds such a nice touch, I think. We're going to curl here, aren't we? That happens sometimes. Get a little tight. Once I put this one will go in my main room. When you walk in the house, I have a Shadowbox hanging in that room, so that's where I usually do a lot of my change outs there. Alright, so let's glue that down. And I think that's going to go like right in there. I want it over far enough because I want this bumped up here. So I think that might work out pretty good right there. Okay. I'm not going to bump this one up. I'm going to lay this one flat, but the February is going to be bumped up, and these letters, this is going to be bumped up. Let's see here. Use that. Maybe move it down just a little bit here. There we go. The nice thing about these triangles on here too is you can kind of use it as a guide to line up. Try to keep it looking straight there. This thing here is just from, I used to have the slice machine, like the one that came out years ago. It was like one of the first type of little die cutting machines, and it would cut on a glass plate. And that's what that's from. And I was kind of glad I never got rid of it because it makes a handy little score tool. All right. There. Now I might do this one too. Here, and this is just a little bit more of that same paper. I just wanted to change it up a little bit. Move my hot glue duck out of the way. There we go. And the same with this, just kind of eyeball it. Get it so it all looks kind of even there. Once you get it all figured out where you kind of want to lay it out, they actually go quite fast. And I don't want to sit and cut everything with you on a project like this because it's just too time consuming. But this will give you the idea. Let's do this one. And you can lay them out any way you want. You could even leave a spot for a photo if you have a photo of you and your significant other, or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, children, whatever. You can just leave it open for a picture in there. Put a small picture in there somewhere. I do some shadow boxes for photos. specifically. I leave openings for pictures. Oh, maybe we'll do up one of those pretty soon. Maybe that'll be my next 12 by 12 is one with a, so you can add a photo or maybe 2 photos in it. There we go. Now this one I'm going to put that heart through. So let me grab my, there it is. And that heart went where? There it is. Now this heart, it's got 2 prongs. So it's like a brad. And I think I want to put that over here. So I'm going to sit it down. And I'm going to turn it so I can see my prongs. And then mark for each prong. There we go. And then just poke a hole. Nothing fancy for brads. That's the nice thing about brads, is you don't need anything fancy. There. And you just poke those through. So, there. Alright. That. Now I have these 2 brads, and one is the keyhole and one is the key, and I thought those would look cute up in there. So let's get this glued down, and then we can put those on. I like doing the shadow boxes. I like changing out my shadow boxes, and when myself or others walk into the house, they can, it's like a new artwork. And you can put one in and leave the same one in if you want. That's just totally up to you. It's kind of nice to be able to change them. There we go. All right. So now, let's glue. Make sure these are the right ones here. Oh, I was going to pop that up. Let's grab that off there real quick. Boop. I think that's going to be covered. That was one I was going to pop up. Sorry about that. I didn't put the pop dots on it beforehand, because that's what I typically would do when I get them ready. I would throw the pop dots on that I'm going to use, and then it's all ready to go. This time I wanted to wait and do it with you. And I could get away with less pop dots, I'm sure, but we'll be all right. There we go. All right, let's try that again. Dot. There we go. All right. We got some serious bending going on here. And that happens when you start getting stiff things on and you smooth them out. I'm just going to kind of flex that a little bit. Once I get my Velcro on there, that'll hold it in place anyway, but there we go. All right. This one says, "Will you be my Valentine?" And this one here says, "Sweetheart." I still had a few pieces left of that page, and I won't throw them away. I'll put them in my stash, and maybe do something with them another day. All right. I believe this one is also going to be popped up. The Sweetheart one. So think of what I decided. Yeah, I think like right there. All right. I keep hearing like a little ticking noise and I can't figure out where it's coming from. Well, it's like something's vibrating or something, but I don't know what it is. Maybe you can hear too. I mean, it's not doing it right this second, but all right. Like that. Okay. See, the hardest part of these is just figuring out how you want to lay it out. Cutting everything out, getting it ready. And that still doesn't take that long. It probably took me, I don't know, maybe an hour. Maybe. There we go. And that one's going to be down, just like that. And I think this card, oh, I think I was going to run that February crooked, but that's all right. We'll run this one crooked up on Pop Dots. We'll be all right. It'll be just fine. I've been doing my, if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it yet, I have a series I'm working on, 52 weeks of Christmas for this year. So maybe if you get a chance, go ahead and peek at that. Maybe you've already seen it, but it's my challenge for myself this year, is to try to get enough Christmas in so I don't feel left out at the end of the year. Otherwise I get busy and I never have enough time to do anything. Yeah, so let's tip that like that. There we go. Ah, I'm gonna glue you down. Might be the table. Maybe the table's shaking. Okay. Just like that. That's what it is. It's the table shaking it. I think it's making those rulers, my metal rulers, cling together. All right, so now we have these two. I'll get these in there, maybe like that and that. Okay, so let's put this one there. And they're metal. They're cute as can be. I thought. Just put it down there. Press on it. Okay. Make sure our keyhole is facing up. Yeah, we'll put that like right about there. Oops. There we go. I have tons and tons of brads. Purchased way too many brads. I used to do a lot more scrapbooking, and maybe I'll do some scrapbooking layouts again with you, but so I had a lot for my scrapbook layouts because I was doing them for my grandkids. All right, so now our roses. This one's got a wire on. I don't think I need that wire. And then there was one here. I thought I'd snuggle that up in there. And I think after that, then we can, I'm going to put my dots on. No, I'll put those on it when I go. I got the Velcro part on the frame itself, so I usually take the other part of the Velcro and put it on those, and then I can line up the dots, because one stays actually in the frame itself. Now, if you have frames that have that edge along there that holds things in, then you don't have to worry about that. I put a good amount of glue on there. I want that rose to kind of stand straight up like that. So I'm going to kind of hold that. Watch it a second. And I'm going to cut this one off here. I'm not all the way off, because I've done that before and had where I needed, my flowers started to fall apart because they didn't have that little metal. And I think maybe like that. Do a good dab. There we go. Oopsie. I'm just going to hold that. Hold those in place a little bit. Whoa. That was a good dollop of glue. There, just like that, I think. And I might take one of these leaves. I don't need all of that. So let's cut this in. I know there's plenty of glue under there, so I'm just going to slide that right into that glue. Still should be goopy. Let's see. Is it good? Oop. It hardened up already. That's good though. So just put a little bead on there. A bead of glue. Get that up there. There we go. Okay. Another flower. Keep that one like. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to go with the flower down there. Let me get that. I think just the one piece. All right. I've got a little curly thing here too, but I think that's good. And I'm just going to put this flower on. Just a little bit of glue there. Whoops, that was not the way to do it. And I think that will do it. Yeah. So that is our February Shadowbox layout with graphic 45. And what I think I will do, I thought I had one too, maybe take that graphic 45 on there. I like to include sometimes their little logo. Let's see if I can find a place that looks good. We'll give it a little. Yeah, maybe we'll just put that right down in there. I think so. All right. And that was just off the heading of the top of the paper. And we'll just stick that right down there. It just says graphic 45, unique paper buying. Paper buying. There we go. So I'll be back again with you soon. Check out my other videos. And please, if you enjoyed this and you want to continue to see me make more, subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And until then, keep crafting, and so will I. Bye-bye.